Hi everybody, it's time for our video conversation. Before we start, I should mention you should go to my Facebook page or check out Twitter. You should check out the special tribute that was done for Bill Frenzel, one of my predecessors, a good friend who we really do miss based on his tenure and time in public service. You'll really appreciate and enjoy it. Also, a lot going on obviously with tax reform still. A special Joint Economic Committee hearing took place on entrepreneurship and startups and how tax reform particularly can help those organizations, which is really important when you think about in recent years there have been more business closings than have started up, and that's really critical to address because most net new jobs actually come from startups as well as innovation, of course. Let's get to our questions though, and the first we took in actually comes in from Angelina in Plymouth, and she writes in, "I am disheartened to hear that DACA may be discontinued. I'd like to see a more permanent solution proposed by Congress that addresses the needs of these young people and yet does not encourage illegal immigration. I know that's a tall order, but I like to believe there are experts on this issue who could walk that fine line in proposing legislation. Please don't leave these young people in limbo. Thank you, Angelina." Angelina, you know what? It shouldn't be a tall order, and I'm also signed on to legislation that does support a DACA fix. It's a special bill that is moving forward with bipartisan support. I'm optimistic we'll have a solution on this, hopefully by the end of the year as things kind of come together. But it basically says for those folks that were here through no fault of their own, they arrived at a young age 16 for instance, before January 1st, 2012, that's the DACA constituency, that those folks, if they're in higher education, if they're gainfully employed, if they're in military service, they're on a path to be here and stay here. And that's really important for these folks that are essentially Americans. The next question comes in an email also from Mark in Minnetonka. And Mark writes in, "Representative Paulson, America's seniors deserve access to high-quality health care, including specialty medicine, such as ophthalmology. The Independent Payment Advisory Board, known as IPAB, when activated, will put that access at risk through arbitrary cuts to Medicare. As your constituent and a member of the specialty medicine community, I'm concerned about potential impacts of IPAB decisions and strongly urge you to vote yes on H.R. 849, the Protecting Seniors Access to Medicare Act. Thank you, Mark." Mark, thanks for sharing your thoughts on that. Actually, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, IPAB is a special board that was set up as a part of Obamacare with 15 unelected bureaucrats that would make decisions instead of Congress or elected officials or the president, and would have the ability to cut seniors' medical care. That's something with no transparency, no accountability. We did pass this legislation just in the Ways and Means Committee, bipartisan support. It has more than half of the House co-sponsoring it. I'm confident it'll move through the House as well later this year. Thanks everyone for joining the conversation this week. You can reach out anytime on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or of course on the website at paulson.house.gov. Have a great weekend and a great week.